Alright, welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron, and I help people expand their consciousness. Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the truth about manifestation. And really, I want to show you how you can remove any blocks that you might have from really experiencing what you want in your life. Now, this is a very powerful idea because when we make this little tweak in the way that we think about it, it really allows us to see much more results than we saw before. And this is something for me, even in the last like 3 to 4 months, I've had more benefits from than like years of doing it, and it comes from this one little way of thinking about it. Now, in the older version of the way that we can think about the idea of manifestation, we think about it in the form of we get what we think about repetitively. Like, that's kind of the way The Secret portrays it, and a couple other books that we may have read about it, and that's the way I thought about it for a long time. So I would just kind of like constantly try to focus on the good stuff, constantly try to focus on what I want. You know, they have the ideas of vision boards and stuff like that, and really I would focus on those ideas. But what I would realize was, yeah, maybe I would see more of it, like when I went out, like maybe if I was looking at a certain car on, you know, consistently and thinking about it, maybe I would see it more often outside, but it wasn't the idea that I was necessarily bringing it into my life. And what I realized recently was that it's not so much we get what we think about as it is as we get what we are being. Like, who we are being in this moment is a direct reflection of the kind of manifestations that we're bringing into our life. Now, with that being said, you may have noticed on this channel that I have been creating more videos over the last week than I normally do. I've been trying to do maybe a video every other day, or maybe even a video every single day. Now, why is that? Well, I simply realized that I must change the conditioning of how I think, and I must change the way that I view myself in order for me to actually take more action. And I had to really get rid of excuses, because before, I thought that I was working hard. Like, I was creating 1 or 2 videos a week, and I was spending a lot of time editing. Now I also have a full-time job, and I have other things that I do. So I was like, oh, I'm hustling, like I'm working hard. But I really looked at that idea and realized that it was kind of a lie that I was telling myself. Like, yes, I work a crazy amount doing what I do for the YouTube channel and doing what I do outside of that, but I realized that it was nowhere near where it could actually be. And I was looking at people that have, you know, a certain type of work ethic and like how they think, and I was beginning to resonate and be the same type of way, kind of think the same way. So I noticed that maybe like I had downtime, and maybe sometimes I kind of get lost into watching videos on YouTube. And instead of me actually doing that, I would use that as time to then create a new video idea, or to actually just go and film another video. And what I really had to do to remove that block was to, first off, stop telling myself the lie that, you know, I am working hard. Not that I wasn't not working hard, but that was as hard as I could work. But also what I had to do was start to view myself just as somebody that takes more action. It has to kind of start from the inside out. Like, we can do it either way. We can do it from the inside out, like start to think about ourselves in the form as a person who just takes massive action and therefore gets results. Or what we could do is we could then actually just start taking massive action until we change the inner way that we think about ourselves. So it works either way. But a lot of times I think the block that people have towards the idea of manifestation is that they are consistently thinking a certain way, but not actually applying it in a way of being that, in the way of actually bringing forth it through actually doing and thinking as if they were already in that state of being, if they were already in that mind frame. And that to me has been the most powerful, like, removing block method that I have found, is simply seeing myself already as that person and then taking the action as if I'm already where I want to be. Now, I'll also talk about this when it comes to the idea of manifestation, and I think this is very powerful in itself. A lot of people think that the idea of visualization, for example, is that when you sit there and you visualize something, that the goal of that is to actually bring that visualization into our life experience. But what I think visualization is a powerful tool for is conditioning ourselves for the feeling of what we want to quote unquote manifest. So the idea behind this is using visualization as a very powerful tool towards getting us to feel a certain way, but to understand that that feeling that we would get once we actually attained whatever we want or gotten that goal is actually something that we can feel right now in this moment. And the more that we condition ourselves to feel that emotion, the more that we actually bring those things closer to us anyways, because we don't get what we think about, we get what we are being, we get who we are. And as we begin to come at it from that new perspective, we see that a lot of those old blocks begin to fall away naturally because they were just simply misidentifications. They were ways of looking at it that are just kind of outdated. So what I encourage you to do is to, instead of seeing yourself as not there already, begin to visualize, begin to see yourself already there, condition that feeling inside of you, and then take action towards being that person. How would the person act that is the perfect version of yourself? And I've talked about this a little bit in one of the prior videos I did, but really envision what that would be and then take the physical action in order to make that actually happen. So sometimes in the spiritual community especially, it's very easy to think it's all energetic. It's all just thinking about it, when really it's a balance of the two. It's thinking about it, but also being it by taking the action as if, and then eventually there might be a little bit of lag time where we don't get the results that we want right away, but as we begin to do it more and more, we'll begin to see that reflection. So right now, something I'm doing on this YouTube channel is creating videos as if it were my full-time job. And as I begin to do that, and even though there will be a buffer of time, it might take a year, it might take whatever it does, the idea is that if I keep just having the intention of getting better with every video, putting out and adding more value to the people that watch it, and can be consistent with it, every time I do that, I am being that person that I want to be. And as I do that, there is nothing left for me to really do necessarily, because being is synonymous with doing. So it's more of just me being who I am preferring to be. And what I encourage you to do is just be who you prefer to be. Understand it's not so much about manifestation or manifesting, it's more about conditioning yourself towards feeling the emotions in the present moment and then understanding that action is a natural consequence to that feeling. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, share it if you found it of value, and as always, I will see you guys on the next vid. Alright, peace, much love, and namaste.